Hello, welcome everyone to the Wrong Ones podcast. This is Amarain with Punk here. How are you, Punk?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I think this is a first for our podcast, isn't it? Dinesh Shagi is missing.
Yeah.
Uh, at odd times,
Everybody's got a life.
everyone apparently he has got a life. We never knew that. He was always up and about around this podcast, but he's up and about somewhere else today. So yeah, apparently he's got a life as well. Um,
The show must
Surprisingly enough,
continue.
yeah. But the show must continue. So here we are, with myself and Punk, and we are going to talk about game 38th in the row. Believe it or not, we are already into game 38, and this was Chennai visiting Mumbai. Um, at the big 1K day. So yeah, let's talk about it. What a win from Mumbai, and it looks like Chennai's worries are not ending. Of course, they have got a new opener now, but still they're not finishing with a win. It looks like. Just to summarize the game, Mumbai, I think Mumbai won the toss and elected to field first, and Chennai batted um, all 20 overs and scored 176 after losing 5 wickets, and which Mumbai chased down in 15.4 overs. There have been brilliant batting performances um, from Ravinder Jadeja and Shivam Dube. It looks like from CSK, made 53 and 50 respectively, and of course Mumbai, just lost 1 wicket. Ryle Rickenton batted well. Rohit Sharma made a brilliant comeback with 76, and Surya Kumar Yadav 68. So um, where do we start, Punk? Is it a brilliant performance from Mumbai and a bad performance from Chennai, or are Chennai looking better than before? What is it?
Oh, at least they're looking slightly better. You can say
Yeah,
that way. But it's the first time like where you have a list of cricketers who have been like out of touch, right? With Rachin, you don't expect Rachin to be so badly in form. He's just seen the Champions Trophy. He was like hot form, playing those shots and um it's like again he is a timing player, right? And he's trying to overdo himself. He's the one match which I would say, and like two matches where he's actually got some runs. The first match in Chennai where he played, you see he was like 20 odd balls, 20 odd runs, and then he accelerated. He's more of that of the Kohli class of batsmen, where
yeah,
they need to have few balls, timing, and and then they can, once the timing is good, then they can power hit some of the balls, right? And Rachin, if you see the two innings which he has scored brilliantly, has been the strategy, the same strategy, right? And sometimes like it's fine to have five balls, nine balls and you get 5 runs, right? You have you have to have the confidence in yourself that you would be able to cover up, and more often you will see those batsmen getting more runs. A few examples I'll tell you is like which Sai Sudarshan, for example, you see Gill, you see a KL. Let's talk about Kohli, definitely one of the greatest. All
yeah,
of these guys who have accumulated loads of runs, right? Are those guys who give some time on the pitch and they have the confidence that they will be able to cover up, once the game progresses. Rachin is that mold of a batsman. He's not a Abhishek Sharma, or he's not your head. You know, he's built. He's a test batsman. So you understand when test batsmen try to come in T20, right? They're not built of a power hitting innings. You see, their stroke play is slightly different to what a normal T20 batsman like you talk about Butler, for example. You see the swing, you see the stance they have. So more often, even the miss hits goes for six, right? or it lands in that area. But a test batsman, when they try to, overhead, or over time, like, trying to power hit those, you will see more of the balls, right, flying over, and those catches where you Rachin is getting out. You see, if it was a normal one day match, that would have gone for a four, because he would have just looped it over the fielders. And the two innings which I'm talking about, Rachin, is that. So, CSK has been really unlucky in terms of the opening, and and the batsman who has taken them to win those trophies, is Rutu. He's your most important batsman, right? So for CSK to lose such a critical, the batsman who can accumulate runs, it's like Kohli, not playing for RCB. You see, if those type of batsmen, if you lose, right, then your entire team will struggle, right? Uh, and let's take at the new players they've got. Good that they've dropped Tripathi.
Devon
Yeah.
and
Devon
Tripathi. Yeah.
Conway, actually, I had a feeling they would have actually put Devon Conway in front of Rachin. Devon
Hmm.
Conway had to go because unfortunately his father passed away,
Oh,
and he was not in the team. So so for Devon, like,
yeah.
rest in
Mm,
peace.
yeah. Condolences to him. Yeah.
Condolences to him and his family. So that's the reason. Or Devon Conway was getting into the groove. He was getting those runs. So as an opener, he's again, you see, an accumulator, right? He will take those
Yeah.
few balls, he will score those 4 runs, and then he will accelerate. Sachin is the same mode, right? And more often, if somebody talks about like CSK approach, you see what GT has done. They have the same CSK approach. The two good players who are not power hitters, but they are in form, and they're getting you those 70, 80 runs stand. And then you have those power hitters coming and accelerating. And even the 70, 80 runs are not like, they're at a strike rate of like a run rate of around, yeah, 8.5, 9.5, round about that number. So they can go to the 200 odd this thing. And with a good bowling attack, GT is being able to do. CSK is something on that similar sense. If you see the team which was built with Rutu, with Rachin, and Tripathi, for example, all you guys are the same mold, in the first top three batsmen. It's just that they've got some really, the form is really gone down. And the other thing is the pitches where CSK has played the first 4 5 matches have been really tough. So most of the pitches where CSK has played in the first 4 5 6 games, if you see, no other team even has scored 200 runs. When they batted first, because CSK
Hmm.
was chasing. You see, so these were not like batting tracks where you power hit and go
Yeah.
away, right? So uh, and then with these type of batsmen again, they have struggled. With Dubey has struggled initially, and now with this innings, it's already too late. Actually, if say this innings which Jaddu and Dubey got was like say 4 games ahead, if it had come in the fourth game, right? Uh, there was a good chance for CSK to go ahead,
Yeah.
because now it's like you have to win all the six, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so it's going to be a near to impossible task with Ritu not playing as well, right? So, but the blessing in disguise, what's happened is you got like Sheikh Rashid and Ayush Matre, and the way Ayush and Sheikh Rashid played in the last 2 games, they look like good quality batsmen. Um, so, but yeah, and then also like CSK has been unlucky in the fielding as well, right? The drop catches. Rohit was dropped on, Jaddu catch. He
Yeah.
missed that. So they have
Mm,
been a bit unlucky as well.
yeah.
If those
With every
catches
team,
were,
to be honest.
it could have been slightly different as well, right? So
Yeah.
CSK has dropped the most number of catches in the IPL currently, across all the
Yeah.
matches. So sometimes luck. You also need a luck in your field as well, right? And then what else you can tell? If fielding, if you don't get those catches more often with a struggling team, you will lose more than you win, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, talking about catches, I mean, we have seen this across the board in this year's IPL, and we have. It's a big surprise that a T20 game is where one catch can changed the entire complexity of the game in T20s, and we have seen so many drop catches. No team more than CSK, as you mentioned, but we have seen this across the board with other teams as well. Just a quick point on Rachin Ravindra there. He's kind of, as you mentioned, a batsman who's kind. He likes to play a long game. But what we haven't seen from Rachin in this year's IPL is whenever even if he's set, he does not, he does not, his run rate does not just explode. And that's where, after playing a number of balls, he still does not make that up. So, the run rate or the strike rate never goes up to 200, which is already hampering. We have seen that the opener's position is already hampering or hampered CSK. So Rachin has to look at that as well. If he is set and he gets a start, then he has to up the ante, and then kind of get that strike rate back. But
So
yeah,
yeah,
go
go on,
ahead.
please. No, no, go on. I'm just like,
Yeah, and I was just saying that now with Sheikh Rashid and Ayush Matre, that they have infused new blood, and then probably that problem will be solved there. But again, Rachin Ravindra, he's a good player, and as much as he would like to stay in CSK will look to have a longer service from him. So he probably they will have to work on him, and he will have to work on his game as well, especially for IPL.
yeah, I think this is second year as an IPL, right? This is first year. This is second year of playing for CSK. See, the thing is, you don't have to have 200 strike rate. If your strike rate is 150 as an opener, right, and if you play those 30, 40 balls, right, and if you can score like in 30 balls, you can score 50 odd or 55 odd runs, right? That's 150, 160 strike. You've done most of your job because you have to get a stance, right? The thing is, if you lose those, you score the 10, 20 runs in 15, 20 balls, right? Then it's more pressure, right? On the you've taken off like 15, 20% of the strike of the entire 120 balls which you get, right? What I'm trying to say is, if he's able to get you the 50, 60, which you see like a Sai Sudarshan or a Gill is doing, at 160, 170 is around about, that's the number there on an average there if they're going to score, because they have power hitters, right? So Rachin does not have to power hit, and that is what I think so is getting. If the way he's getting out is like he's too eager to hit sixes rather than playing his natural game. He is more of the Kohli trend, where you will have more fours than sixes. You see, that is what he needs to do. If and Kohli, like 135, 140, more often, the other guys come in and they score. So everybody does not have to play for 200 strike rate, because then you will have the entire team collapsing in 70, 80 runs, right? So there are players who are built for different type of roles, right? If it's a flat track, where nothing is happening, if it's on a sticky wicket on, then it's a different thing. Then most people, you will see that they can score at 200 or 180, 190 quite easily. But if it is like tricky pitches where most of the pitches which CSK has played has been slightly tricky. And I've like with the stats I'm talking about, nobody has scored 200 when they have batted first. Forget CSK batting, right? I'm talking about the guys who have taken, out of the 8 matches, 6 of the matches has been CSK has chased. No, the team has scored 200. So that shows you that it's slightly they haven't played on flat tracks. You know, so with Rachin again, that's what I'm trying to say, right? If he gets at 150 strike rate, he's done most of the job for the team, right? If you consume a lot of balls, right? So say you play 50 balls and then your strike rate is 150, then that's wrong. Then I believe you have to have the strike rate of 190, 200, right? Because you're taking 50% of the team. That means you will land up around 170. At that same strike rate, the team will land up on 170, 180, which is not a winning score.
Hmm.
But if you play like 30 odd balls and you've got 50 odd runs, then your partnership within the team, right? There's people who can give you that 20, 30 runs shot, of 10 balls, 15 balls. So that additional strike rate will more often will take you 200 plus. So
Yeah, yeah.
that is the thing which Rachin and the coaching team, they have to understand. You don't have to go and power hit, or you're not a 200 plus player.
Yeah, so after losing, wickets early, we saw that. Ravindra Jadeja and Shivam Dube, who batted at a strike rate of 150. They made 53 and 50 runs. But do you think Vijay Shankar's performance has not been up to the mark, and that's why he's coming down? He would have come, or CSK would have liked to bat a little higher, and make more runs. But maybe because of his performances, Ravindra and Jadeja is being pushed up rather than him. Um, and I would have thought he would be the guy to bat at number 4 or 5, and give that stability and impetus to the score. And then Ravindra Jadeja and Shivam Dube would come. Shivam Dube before Ravindra Jadeja, and then they could make quick runs. But I would have thought Vijay Shankar could have done more in the batting
So
lineup.
I think so. What is happening, right, is that with you see the last like 7, 8 games, right? Wherever which Sankar's got an opportunity, right? He's taken a lot of time to get going,
Yeah,
and so and that is hampering the team's strategy, right? And
exactly.
and Jadeja is not the same old Jadeja where he could come and tonk sixes, right? And I've told you like the track also makes a huge difference to the team as well, right? So what's happened is like they realized that it's better for Vijay Sankar not to be your anchor player, right? Let Jaddu continue as an anchor player because he can do both. Because he's a test batsman quality player, right? He can, if there is a fall of wickets, right, he can continue at one side, and then you can, the other guys can then start tonking. And this is what the strategy was in that match, which LSG as well, where Ravi came at the same place, right? But because Jadeja lost his wicket, Dubey had to play the Jaddu role of accumulating the run and trying to take the game deep. Because and then Dhoni came and played that power hitter role. So something similar they did this as well, right? It's just that they needed a bit more. They needed like 25 odd runs, right? So one of the plow, and this is what I was trying to say, right? If you have both players playing those many runs and both at 150, is not going to help you. And coming to your point of the 200 strike rate, right? So Jatu playing 35 balls, right? At 53, that 150 odd strike rate is, it was fine because you wanted one of the guys to continue at that strike rate, right? But then Dubey for 30 balls to 50 runs, he should have been at 65, 200, 210, 220, because he's your power hitter. He playing at 150 is where the team is the challenge, right? I would have rather seen him scoring that 30, 40 runs in like 15, 20 balls, and then Overton, Dhoni, and these guys trying to strike and getting this. But he played more of an accumulated role where 150, where most often your team, if the entire team is playing at that, you will reach at 180. 150 is 100. See, if it's simple calculation, right? If you're 100 strike rate, that means you'll score 120 runs. And if you're 150 strike rate, then you'll score another 60 runs to that. So you add that, it's 180 runs. And that is where the team landed. You see? So
Yeah.
because both played at that strike rate, you landed at 180. If the team, one of these guys would have anchored it to a bit of a higher net run rate, then they would have landed to another 20 runs,
Mm.
which would have been not an easy target for them to chase. They, you see, it would still, because even after scoring that runs, you would still need, in the last 30 balls, you would still need 50, 60 runs. You have to continuously score at 10, and that makes a huge difference. And again, the due 200 was your pass score, and 210, 215 is your winning score, 220 is your winning score in that in Mumbai. So
Yeah.
that is another challenge as well.
Yeah, I think that's what is kind of going wrong with CSK as well. And because of of course, we have talked about the auctions and not getting the perfect player for the certain spots there. So that's why CSK have to alter the batting order again and again, and bring and make kind of make players do which they are not used to. And that's what we are seeing with the batting order changing a bit as well. So a bit unfortunate for them. But yeah, in this match they did make 176, and it looked like and we got to talk about bowler Jasprit Bumrah, who took 2 wickets with 25 runs, and Deepak Chahar as well. He took 1 wicket, and again he gave 32 runs in his 4 overs. So their bowling department is also performing, and we have seen in Ashwani Kumar as well. They have found a really good bowler. With who takes wickets as well. So and Mitchell Santner, we have seen him do as well. So all in all, they're doing well as a bowling unit as well. And which brings me to the batting performance, and they chased down 177 just by losing 1 wicket. Ryan Rickelton 24 runs, Rohit Sharma 67, and Suryakumar 68. Is this the comeback Rohit Sharma was waiting for, and Mumbai fans were waiting for?
Yeah, absolutely right. He was a bit lucky, in terms of some catches dropped as well in between,
Mhm.
right? And he would have continued that, mutual stock growth of from 25, 36, and it was so. Well, CSK is the team which gives you an opportunity to get back in form. They gave an opportunity to Pant. He was in form, came back to form, and they gave an opportunity to Rohit. So they are anyways. Dhoni's fined, so he needs to make sure that they get the opportunity to play as well, right? He always treats the youngsters well. So, but yeah, jokes apart, he played really well, and he was more determined. For sometimes what happens, right? We see great players like Sachin, or even a Kohli, right? When it comes to like Kohli, when it comes to Pakistan, right? You see how he performs. They call him like Bapa Pakistan, so
Hmm.
father of Pakistani, right? Same thing with Sachin, right? When he came to Australia, you see Sachin, how he was motivated, right? And MI and CSK have the rivalry. And like for Rohit, to perform against CSK is a big thing. You see the fan wars, and you see it's like the El Clasico, whatever they call about, right?
Yeah.
The always wants to perform against CSK, right? And if you see his interview and all that, right? That thing is there, right? And gave him that extra motivation. You could see he was very like engaged. The shot selections, and in Mumbai, right, most of the sixes which go are like 60 meters, man, towards where he hits the sixes, right? If it was in Chennai, that those some of the sixes would have been easily caught, because the boundary is 70 odd meters, 75 meters towards your offside and onside. So ideal place for him to get back. There was dew. The ball was not spinning. It was not gripping. So there was a lot of dew. You could see that, right? And and the way he played Ashwin, he knew what Ashwin was trying to do. So he did not, uh, like, be ultra aggressive against Ashwin. With Jaddu again, because the D was there, right? The ball was not turning, and Jaddu has there was no grip as well, right? So it was easier for them to play this way because of and the good thing was, you see Surya Kumar Yadav, right? He did not take much time. He came in and he gave Rohit that comfort, right, to play a few of grounded shots and take the game a bit deep. And he was the power hitter, right? So that helps with Rohit as well, right? And they have got very good understanding. And as luck would have, he both of them got like enough chances basically, right? With
Yeah.
CSK's poor fielding as well, right?
Poor
And
fielding.
one thing I felt like the think tank got it wrong to bring in Ashwin. They should have still, because you see the first inning was slightly different. You know, the second innings, because if you see the last part of the game as well, right? Because the dew started seeping in, it was easier to bat again in the last few overs. With CSK, instead of getting Ashwin, they should have got Kamboj. Kamboj was doing well, right? He could have, and getting a fast bowler, right, would have helped a bit more to get that. You know, it would have been easier for Rohit's wicket, and even what you call is Surya. Surya is one of the best players of spin. Everybody knows that, right? And Rohit also a very good player of spin, right? So the CSK management and like whoever with Dhoni and everybody decided to bring in Ashwin. That strategy went wrong. Uh, most of the wickets which Rohit has got out is your fast bowlers, right? And Kamboj has done really well. He has been playing in the Mumbai pitch. He was groomed there. And not getting Kamboj was slightly wrong. I thought like Ashwin shouldn't have been this thing.
Mm,
And Ashwin, the challenge with Ashwin is the bag of tricks won't work in Mumbai because when the dew comes in, right? See, there's no turn in the ball, right? You are not a wrist spinner because a wrist spinner can still loop you, and you will get that because of you can spin the ball. You know, with us finger spinner when there's dew, you have to. The only way is like slowing your speed. You know, it's very difficult for and both right-handers were there. You see, they should have looked at in terms of the batting lineup as well, right? You had two right-handers getting Ashwin an off spinner, right? Against two right-handers again was a very wrong call, right? I would not have got Ashwin. If it is a bigger ground, like where Lucknow is, for example, the 70 meters boundaries,
mm,
then there was an opportunity to still get Ashwin because even if it does a loopy one, right, even a miss hit
mm,
will fly in Wankhede because the grounds are so short, man, 60-65 meters. They're 59 meters for a sweep six, So
yeah.
and
Uh,
so that is the challenge. And you see, the thing is very important, which I did not understand. You have to understand Rohit, Surya are very good players against spin. They sweep the ball, right? Some you take that against a Kohli, he does not sweep the ball, right? So for him, he has to hit the ball over cover drive. There's more chances for you to get catches, or he has to slog you. But with guys, spinners, right? Like Surya, these guys are very good against. They can sweep you in any direction. We know about how Surya and Rohit can sweep in any direction of this thing. So on that pitch, very wrong strategy. So they got that completely wrong.
Yeah, I
So
mean, Ravichandra Ashwin has been leaking runs in this series, and that's why in the previous match also he was dropped and now he's brought back. But the thing is, he in this particular match he only gave six. So he was best of the bowlers, to be honest, best of the CSK bowlers. Only 6.25 economic rate for him. There were fireworks from Mumbai batsmen, and one guy who was caught in the fire was. Matisa Pathirana. He bowled 10 balls and went for 34 runs at an economy of 20.4. So that was massive. You look at Ravichandra Ashwin, he only went for 6.25 economy rate. So only 25 runs. But yeah, they surely lined up Pathirana and Jamie Overton as well. Of course, up front, Khalil Ahmed. He went for some runs, but you would expect that from a guy who's going up front. He just takes wickets as well, not in this match, but he does. So I would say they probably were prepared for Pathirana, and maybe Pathirana was a little bit offline as well. He was just caught up in the brilliant batting performance from Mumbai batters. Um,
yeah,
are is Pathirana bowled at the wrong time? What do you think?
but like the game was more or less dusted, right? If you see, I think so. Pathanana should have been coming at the when the wickets were not lost, right? See, this is the problem with
Maybe one in the power play.
not in the power play, just after the power play, maybe the seventh over, sixth over, also like
Hmm.
seventh or eighth over, right? Maybe the eighth over, right? They could have gotten. The thing is, when he came in, the game was more or less lost. They had already accumulated a lot of runs because the 176 is nothing, right? And Ashwin, as you talked about, right? He came in the power play, the fourth over itself, right?
Hmm.
And he continued till the 10th, 11th over, right? So at that time, they did not want to take that risk because they were getting runs on the other side. Uh, and the first two overs, right? Because the wicket fell down. After that, like Ashwin came in, right? So they were just trying to accumulate the runs against Ashwin. And if you see, there was hardly any shots taken. They did not try to hit him, right? They went against the other bowlers. Now, Patirana, when he came in, if you see, the game was more or less dusted, right? And as I told you, it was there was a lot of dew, yeah. And Patirana is that bowler, right? With that dew, you will have a lot of more balls like going. even if it's not due, right?
wayward.
He's yeah, his accuracy is not that great. But if it's accurate, right, he will just pick up stumps. He'll get to 3 wickets in a go. So that is, he needs that grip in the hand, right? And with that due ball, right, you could see that balls were all flying over. It's
So
like
he should have bowled
that
earlier.
is not absolutely. And this is where sometimes you have to understand the game, better. When you have to bring him, right? You don't, because I think so. Like maybe Dhoni has, he Ashwin being there, he thought like Ashwin will be able
Mm.
to pick up those wickets, and because they saw how Santner bowled, earlier phase, so that's why they brought in Ashwin very early to see if he could get those wickets, right. Again with Noor as well, they could have given a try. Noor, he was very like late in the innings, so they lost the plot basically. If it was a 200 plus odd wicket, 200 to 210, this would have been still a different game altogether, right? You wouldn't have seen uh, MI chasing it that easily, right? And you would have seen a different strategy as well from Dhoni. The thing is with Ashwin, he might have. This is what I think. Yeah, he thought that Ashwin is the guy who can get you those wickets, right? That experience, right? And what they did was they played Ashwin very well, and they this took him out of the attack completely, right? So they did not give those wickets to Ashwin, right? They still accumulated the runs what was needed to
Yeah,
still keep going, and they attacked the guys, where there was more of, you see, a Noor or Jadeja. There's hardly in terms of your, the bowling speed, yeah, compared to what Santner did. You see, Santner, he was there, like at one point he was bowling at 90, and then one point he was bowling at 72.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
huge gap. There's 26 kilometers gap, which
Yeah, I mean,
Jadeja
the,
could do. You know, so it was
Dhoni is
just
kind of, putting his faith in Ashwin to take wickets. But to be honest, in this, like I mentioned, in this season, he hasn't been that lethal. So probably that is not helping. Well, this performance from Mumbai, we've got a question from Dinesh Verma. Are Mumbai bouncing back? They've made a massive statement in this game while chasing. Um, are they back?
absolutely, and the reason is Bumrah. That's it, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
So if Bumrah was not playing in this game, yeah, CSK would have scored 200 plus runs. So
Yeah,
see what happens with Bumrah being there, right? Uh, he does not give you those runs, right? And strategically, they can now with uh, you have a Chahar and you have a Bolt, both swing bowlers. So they're more apt to take those wickets within the power play. And if they're hurt really badly, right? Like say if they give like 50, 60 runs in the first 3 or 4 overs, they can still bring in Bumrah, right? And
yeah.
if they get a wicket or something, they're happy to sacrifice Bumrah and not bring him, that early. So
Hmm.
Bumrah, they got like 3 overs. Now just imagine, say if Bumrah was not there in that game, they would have got somebody else to bowl, right? You look at the stats for all the other bowlers, they would have got thrashed with Jaddu being there, with Dubey being there, and even Dhoni being there. Bumrah is the legend, man, and and because that Dhoni wicket went out, Dhoni would have got to the 20 odd runs in that
Mm,
three four
yeah,
balls, whatever he got. So that score from 176 would definitely have been 20 runs more. They still had Overton, they still had Sankar, you know.
yeah.
So they did not. Bumrah was the factor for that 20-30 runs, and then he gets with Dhoni, and So now what's happened in this team? They've got a very good death bowler in Bumrah, yeah, and they are able to now. You and Santner is showing his bag of tricks, right? He's a really good, bowler internationally. He's got a good brains, and he can bat as well, right? So he's doing a very good thing with doing really well. And if you see the Test match series, which in India, right, he outspun Jaddu and Ashwin,
Yeah,
because
totally.
the variation of speed, and so you can see that. So that guy is like he's showing you the spin tricks of what a left-hander spin, and they're not afraid to bowl him against left-handed batsmen as well, right? So he's got that bag of tricks. uh, with Santner, right? And Will Jacks, what a surprise package for them, man. He can bowl a few of these off spin bowling, and like the thing with he's your what Maxwell does, right? So what I was seeing in Will Jacks, right? He's not trying to loop you to get you the sixes.
Yeah.
He's trying to contain you. He's not looking for your wickets. He's trying to continue in that power play, or he's trying to contain those batsmen. Which compared to like what an Ashwin and everybody is trying to do is they will loop you, some balls so that you can try to go for a six and you might get caught in the boundaries, right? But Will Jacks is trying to. His only job is to get you that 1 or 2 overs so that there's flexibility within the Mumbai lineup, So they got like 6 or 7 now bowlers. They don't need anybody else. So Jax is that one guy which is giving you that additional, bowling advantage. So and then you just imagine Trent Bolt. He's got the highest number of wickets as a in the first over itself. So yeah, he can bat and the swing bowling. So they got covered with in the first few overs, and now with Bumrah, it looks like a complete package. See, the entire difference of Mumbai is Bumrah. You take out Bumrah from that team, yeah, they will struggle.
Yeah, I mean, now they're looking
And
really good.
last season and this season as
Um,
well, you see,
y-
till Bumrah was not there, they were
yeah,
struggling.
so yeah, they're looking, as you mentioned, really strong with Bumrah in, and all the bowlers are performing really well. They are definitely back, and more so for the reason as well that their batsmen are also back in form. Ryan Rickelton, when the tournament started, he was not making runs, but now he's back into runs. Last few games he had made runs. Suryakumar Yadav as well, but the most noticeable now is Rohit Sharma. He's back into runs as well. So all in all, they are looking very dangerous, and there's every chance that they will give a tough time to every other opponent. Just before we finish up, there's another part of the question from Dinesh Verma. What what is in for CSK for the rest of the tournament, and also by infusing the young blood in CSK, are they building for 2026?
Yeah, definitely, right. So once like you see a Matre at 870. It has never happened that they have replaced a player and CSK just feels him. That means they've seen something in that guy, Ayush Matre, right? And he getting an opportunity to come directly and and he's proven, right? Sheikh Rashid as well, right? Last match against LSG. So and now they've got Breville Davis,
Yeah.
right? Who's and now let me quickly tell you the ages, like the
Mm.
cumulative ages of some of the players. Rachin Ravindra is 24. You see, so the entire squad, Noor Ahmed is 20 odd. Pathirana is like what's 22 or something. If you see the age of the squad, right, of the entire CSK team, it's crazy, man. Let me quickly tell
Mm.
you the ages, right, and then we can just focus on what they're looking at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
And also, do you
so
think more young players will come into CSK now in the next season?
no, I think so. Like what will happen is, in terms of the players which we have, right, in CSK, they've got everything covered. You know, it's just that now they need to make sure that these players who are playing, yeah. So you see, Ayush, for example, is 17 years. Siddharth is 18 years. Noor Ahmed is 20 years, right? These are going to be, Sheikh Rashid is 20. Deval Brevis is 21. Vans Ved is 22. Patiran is 22 years, and Ansul Kamboj 24 years. Rachin is 25. Nagarkoti is 25, and then our great captain Rotu is 27.
Hmm.
You see, so your entire squad is like it's just that because Dhoni is there, you feel like maybe the team has aged. Uh, and the only challenge is like, and I've told right, they got the wrong players in the auction, right? They because I was watching the auction live, right? So they went for KL Rahul at 12.2 crores. He went out for 14 CR, right? I don't understand why they, and I have a feeling that Ashwin, they wanted to give a farewell gift to him. And
Mm.
like, CSK sometimes they have the emotional thing, to get that. Like for example, 2021, that series, the BGT series, Cheteshwar Pujara put himself for the auction in IPL, and surprise, which team picked him up. It was CSK.
CSK.
They did
Yeah.
not give him like back, but it was just not to, so they also look at like, giving that farewell thing, with giving like 8-10 crores to Ashwin was a bit uncalled for. Uh, and like, Tripathi, Huda, Vijay Shankar, right? They have not got any outstanding, like series in the entire 18 years of like 70, whatever from
Mhm.
they've played, right? I would have still gone with Ajinkya Rahane, because you see, with 50 lakhs, it would have been a much better option to go with Ajinkya, or, like with, especially with KL Rahul, right? They could have, gone with KL Rahul a bit more. If he
Yeah.
was 14, but they could have, spent more money on him. No, definitely they spent 10 crores, made sense. He's doing really well for you. But
Yeah.
Ashwin has retired, and I think so. It was more of an emotional call, and because of the Tamil thing,
Mhm.
with the CSK management, right? They might have just looked into, okay, let's get Ashwin back. He's a homeboy, right? Let him retire in CSK, which makes sense. Happy, but what I would do is like I would release Ashwin next year in the auction and bring him back for like, to see here, and that money which we have, that could be spent to give get in Cameron Green, a young cricketer. You need of see the problem with CSK this year is they don't have a very good power hitter and a good bowling all rounder, like a fast bowling all rounder. In the years they, if you see, they always had uh, in the history of entire CSK, they always had like, let's take few names like Bravo, for example,
Mhm.
Mockle, Albie Mockle. Then you had Shane Watson, who could bowl you, and power. You see some of these legends which of the game, right? They do, and this year it's the only challenge. They don't have batting till 10. CSK has always been batting till 10, always. And I was like, in the last this thing as well with Dinesh, I did tell CSK has more 200 plus scores than any other team. They had that power hitters because they used to bat 10. So this impact rule, they used to like, play the impact rule long back. It was like a
Yeah.
cheat code. There was if you see 2021 or 2021 or 23, the entire team, it was a cheat code that
Mhm.
even the number 11 batsman was Deepak Chahar.
Yeah.
So this is something which they have to build. Brevis is your one bowler who can actually bowl as well. So I have a feeling he's going to come in the next match with
Okay.
this thing.
Yeah.
They might drop Rachin and make Matre and Rashid to open, and get maybe Jaddu to play at 3, and get Breville at 4. That could
Yeah.
be your option. Or get Breville at 3 and do something on that basis. But it's a team of the future now. You know,
Yeah.
You've got a
So
good.
this season is pretty much gone anyway. So they
It is
will
gone.
look
It's
to
not possible.
just play,
Yeah.
get as much experience for the young ones, and yeah, come back strong next season.
If Rutu
That
was
will
there,
be
right? If Ruturaj was in form,
the thing to do.
they had an opportunity to get. They could have still got 6 runs. It's not that
Mm.
they haven't done it. 2010 they have done it. 6 in a row and all that, right? It's just that your best batsman, okay, is injured, right? Like a Kohli for RCB
Mm.
getting injured, right? You can just imagine. It's that level of impact, right? So
Yeah.
not having the main batsman, right? I'm not talking about captaincy. It's the main batsman getting injured, right? Is your challenge. With Matre and Sheikh Rashid, they'll give you the odd 50, 60 runs, right? But they're not that to get you those 100 runs or like 70, 80 runs consecutively, right? You won't have like 5 innings of a Matre coming 50 runs every that maturity has not come. That maturity will come in like 1 or 2 seasons going forward. They will play on Ranji and they'll understand that maturity is not there in those players. And if you see most of the youngsters like Arya and all that, you'll get one innings of 100, but the rest you'll get like 20, 30 odd runs. You won't have the consistency, but you will see the next season onwards, you will see them having that 50, 60 runs consistency rate. So that is something which CSK will be able to get into in 2026. So this season is more or less gone for them.
Cool. So yeah, that is that, and yeah, good summary of the events. And Mumbai are back. CSK are still down. That's the takeaway. And CSK will look
Bumrah is back,
for
man.
the
So
Bumrah is
Mumbai is
back.
back.
Rohit Sharma is back. So yeah, and but yeah, CSK will have to look at 2026. They just pretty much have to. They're probably done this season. So yeah, Punk, nice to speak to you. And I know whenever there's a CSK on the lineup, our podcast gets a little longer,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely. We
always
have
a
a
good
talk on
thing.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is always a good thing. We like to discuss and raise good points there. So yeah, thank you very much, and see you in the next one.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. And Amar,
Yeah,
do not.
always hit the bell icon and please subscribe.
Absolutely. See you guys.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.